He had just filled her bowl with cool water and was humming a Sam Cooke tune when the gunshot shattered the silence. The bowl tipped over as the dog yelped and collapsed in front of him. "Daisy!" Mr. Elijah Thomas screamed, stumbling forward as blood pooled around the only family he had left. Elijah dropped to his knees beside her, his hands shaking uncontrollably. The officers still had their weapons drawn, breath heavy, eyes devoid of remorse. The silence that followed was thick, oppressive, like the air before a storm. Daisy had been his everything. A gentle golden retriever with soulful eyes and a love for belly rubs and peanut butter. He got her when his wife died 3 years ago. That dog saved him from drowning in grief. And now, they had taken her from him too. It all began that Monday morning in a quiet neighborhood in Jackson, Mississippi. Elijah, a 72-year-old retired mechanic, was watering his front lawn while Daisy played lazily by the porch. She never barked, never wandered, her leash long but secure. That morning, a police cruiser rolled by slowly, then reversed and parked right in front of his house. 2 white officers stepped out, eyes scanning the property like they were casing a crime scene. Elijah greeted them cautiously. "Morning, officers. Can I help y'all?" They didn't answer right away. The taller one, Officer Madsen, flicked his sunglasses off and pointed at Daisy. "That dog leashed," he barked. "She's not going anywhere. Been like this for years. She's family." The other, Officer Carter, approached without a word, hand resting on his gun. Elijah felt his stomach knot. "Sir, we've had reports of a dangerous dog in the neighborhood. Mind if we take a look around?" "There's no dangerous dog here," Elijah replied. "Just Daisy and me." They didn't listen. Madsen moved toward Daisy. She stood up, tail wagging. Then came the bang. The leash hadn't even stretched when the bullet hit her. The days that followed were a blur of pain, anger, and humiliation. They tried to tell the media that Daisy was aggressive. That she lunged. That the officers feared for their safety. But neighbors had seen everything. They said Daisy never barked, never growled. She was lying down. Still, the police department doubled down. Elijah filed a complaint. He hired a civil rights attorney named Maya Brooks, a woman with fire in her heart and scars of her own. She told him she lost her uncle to police violence and promised she wouldn't let Daisy's death be swept under the rug. But the case wasn't easy. The city stalled. The footage mysteriously malfunctioned. The officers were placed on administrative leave, collecting pay while Elijah stood outside City Hall, holding Daisy's photo and a sign that read, "She wasn't a threat. She was my heart." People started showing up. First a few. Then a crowd. Black. White. Old. Young. They stood with Elijah as he told his story through tears and cracked voice. He talked about his childhood under Jim Crow. About how he served in Vietnam and came back to a country that still didn't see him as a man. About how losing Daisy reopened wounds that had never truly healed. National news caught wind. A local journalist released an audio recording from a neighbor's security system. It captured Daisy's final bark, the officer yelling, "Get back." And then the gunshot. The timing didn't lie. She hadn't lunged. She hadn't moved. Maya pushed for criminal charges, but the grand jury refused to indict. That night, Elijah broke down. They won't stop. They'll keep doing this, to people like me. To souls like Daisy. But Maya looked him in the eyes and said, "Then we raise hell the right way." She filed a federal civil rights lawsuit, not just for Elijah, but for every black man who had been dismissed, every innocent soul erased without consequence. Donations poured in. Celebrities spoke out. The case made its way to a federal judge known for her integrity. And in a ruling that shook the department, the judge declared the officers had used excessive force without just cause and awarded Elijah $2.5 million in damages. But money wasn't what healed him. What truly changed everything came 6 months later. On what would have been Daisy's birthday, Elijah stood at a new animal shelter in South Jackson, built entirely from donations raised during the trial. Its name was carved into a smooth wooden sign by the entrance. Daisy's Haven, for the ones who never got a chance. He cut the ribbon with shaking hands, surrounded by a crowd of supporters, local leaders, kids holding signs that read, "Justice for Daisy," and "Love Wins." And then, from behind the crowd, a little girl, about 7 years old, walked up to Elijah with a leash in hand. On the other end was a shy little mutt with big ears and sad eyes. "She lost her family in a flood," the girl whispered. "She don't got nobody." Elijah knelt down slowly and looked into the dog's eyes. "I know how that feels," he said gently, as he took the leash. The story spread. Not just as a tragedy, but as a testament. That one voice, even a tired, grieving, elderly voice, could still be heard. That one injustice, when faced with truth, could ignite change. Elijah didn't stop fighting. He spent his remaining years advocating for police accountability, for animal rights, for dignity, walking beside his new dog, Freedom. The message was clear. Grief may come for us, but how we rise from it defines who we are. Even in the face of cruelty, compassion can roar louder. And sometimes, justice doesn't come with a badge or a verdict, but in the quiet moment when a man chooses love, again, over hate.